Alrighty, give us 1 second, guys. We get the radar out. There we go. Alrighty, good evening, everyone. This is Chief Forecaster Cameron,
Derek here.
and we've got
Dustin.
we've got Dustin, our forecaster here. We're here to give you guys round team coverage on the massive winter storm that's coming our way as we move into your Thursday and your Friday time frame here. So, guys, first and foremost, that's Dustin. He's been with us. He's one of our guys that works behind the scenes and gets us the information and everything like that. He's going to be helping out with getting your questions on air and everything like that here. So I know everyone that's going to come in right now, they're going to have questions and they're going to try to get it answered. I'm stressing you guys right now, patience, 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 okay?
Yep.
We got a ton of information we got to go over. We promise you guys, the longer you're staying with us, the better chance you're going to get your questions answered. And Dustin made a great point. If you don't get your questions answered right out of the gate, make sure you re-comment, and we'll get you taken care of here, guys. So let's talk about the upper level pattern we've got right now here. I'm going to point your attention over here towards California and Arizona. You see this area of activity near Phoenix? That is the system, guys. That's the system that's going to bring these winter storm potential as we move into your Thursday and into your Friday time frame here. Go ahead, Derek.
So one thing, Cameron, I do want to notice about this is that it is a little bit further north.
Yeah.
Than what some of the data had originally shown at this time frame.
Mhm.
But overall, though, the forecast is well on track. Our system is there. We've seen a lot of consensus really from 2 weeks out, which is very unusual and really unheard of for when we talk about winter weather threats. Is that normally we see these pop up in that 3 to 5 day time frame, maybe up to the 7 day time frame, but 2 weeks out is really kind of unheard of, and this has been a very consistent thing.
Definitely. So we're going to go over the current winter storm watch that we have in place here, guys. And I want to kind of talk to you guys about when this is going to start and when the winter storm watch is in effect for here. So this is going to go all the way through for some people on Friday, and there are other people, especially in eastern, northeastern Arkansas, that this goes through Saturday morning here, okay? We're going to talk about timing come up in a little bit, the accumulation, the impact, all that. But I just want to kind of address the confusion with the winter storm watch here. This is going to go from all the way from pretty much, I think this starts when? Thursday?
Yep. So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
your winter storm watch starts at 6 a.m.
Mhm.
On Thursday,
Mhm.
and then obviously depending on where you live in the state, it will obviously turn into winter storm warning, winter weather advisory, doctor warning, whatever. Probably starting as soon as tomorrow morning. All honesty.
Yep.
Now, my folks in Northwest and North Central Arkansas.
Yeah.
Just because you're not under a watch does not mean you're not going to see snow.
Yeah.
I
Want to make
want
that
to
clear.
Make that clear.
Yeah.
You're just not going to see as much snow. There are different warning criterias and different criterias for certain levels of watches and warnings and stuff.
Yeah, so just want to kind of, because there's a lot of confusion right now, especially for our folks up there in northwestern Arkansas. Right up here, Derek, I said I could barely hear you for some reason. And you get a little closer. There we go. All right. So, folks up there in northwestern Arkansas, just because you're not under a watch right now does not mean you're not going to see snow, okay? The reason, I wish they would have put an advisory at the same time as the winter storm watch, but I do believe the advisory has to be a little bit more closer in time versus the watch here. But my folks up there, Fayetteville, Jasper, Harrison, Mount Home, up there that are watching this right now, that does not mean you're not going to see snow. I want to make that crystal clear at this time. Winter storm watch for elsewhere across the state here, okay? So let's talk about the winter weather outlook here, okay? And this has been a significant change from what we had this morning here, Derek. We've been sitting here, myself, you, Dustin, Heidi, our entire forecast team. Quick shout out to Cam Williams, and also our good friends at Southwest Arkansas Weather. Just kind of collaborating with each other here with this entire map. This is what we've got here. So this is the area, the heaviest snowfall potential has expanded to include now Fort Smith, the Queen, over towards Arkadelphia, over towards West Memphis here. This is the corridor that we think the highest potential of seeing the significant snow is going to be. Now, my folks in northern Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, you're going to listen to this. You're going to be like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to see like one flake and that's it. That is not the case. You're still going to see snow. Keep in mind, it is going to be a lowered amount compared to where everybody else is going to see across the central 2/3 of the state. And that's what we've been talking about in the last couple of days. Is that central 2/3 over the last, the few days with the GFS, the Euro, all the other models have been really honing on that period. Now, let's talk about South Arkansas. Go ahead.
So now, for my folks in South Arkansas, this is going to be one of those situations to where, from basically my 82 corridor, Texarkana, Magnolia, El Dorado, Crossit, and Lake Village, where we could see a huge change of your winter weather threat. So basically, in this part of the state, you will have what's called a warm nose, meaning warm air aloft, that will be working into what's called the snow growth zone.
Yep.
So what that means is that you have your upper layers, which is where all of your snow forms. Even in severe weather, that is where snow forms. And then you have your mid layers and your low levels. You have to have the column below freezing all the way up and down to even get snowfall.
Yep.
So down in this part of the state, we will have a warm nose, very typical with this type of setup. So warm Gulf air coming over Arctic air will erode that cold area just enough to where we will see a mix of sleet and snow.
Yep.
But our concern is that with temperatures below freezing for an extended period of time, we will see a prolonged period of freezing rain down here from Texarkana, Magnolia, El Dorado, Crossit, and Lake Village.
Definitely. So, and keep in mind, guys, that we're trying to speed through these graphics as much as possible here, so that way we can get straight into the questions. But just this quarter right in here, from the central 2/3 from Mena, Little Rock, I'd say to Blytheville, this is the area of concern. And we've had a lot of questions about this too. What do we mean about heavy snow? Because, you here in Arkansas, 2 inches of snow. Some people can think that's heavy snow. This is a quarter, Derek. I think you said 4 inches plus, of where we think the heaviest snow is going to be the one that's going to cause the most impacts. This is where we are expecting it in this general area. The lighter blue does not mean that you're not going to see it. It's just a much lower amount here at this current time here. So I want to stress, we're going to get to questions as quickly as possible. Those that are tuning in, I'm telling y'all this right now, you're going to have to be patient with us, okay? A lot of information we got to go over. We're speeding through as quick as possible to try to get to the questions here. But there's a ton that we've got to go over, so you guys kind of know what you're getting yourselves into here, okay? So let's talk about the timing, because there's a lot of people that are coming in asking when the timing is, stuff like that. This will also be posted on the page immediately after this live stream. So if you miss it, just stick around after the live stream, and then boom, it's gonna be on there, guys. Okay, so this is the timing here. Now, there's been some changes, Derek and Dustin, with the overall timing of this here. And it appears now that we may be getting the ball game started a lot earlier on Thursday, if you want to talk more about that.
Good. All right, so as expected, and as we have been mentioning for a couple of days, we've had that snow chance especially for our folks in Southwest Arkansas and Central Arkansas, for Thursday and Friday.
Yep.
And the reason being is we have a hunch, and it's very typical with this type of setup, that these systems speed up just a little bit. And this type of setup is what you want. You want a little bit faster system if you want that heavy snowfall. So what's going to happen is we're kind of getting that idea now that we're going to see this start moving in as early as sunrise on Thursday morning now instead of Thursday night or Friday. But again, obviously, that's when, your light snow, your trades, your very light snow will start to move in.
Yep.
Temperatures are going to be in the 20s statewide, so travel issues will be a concern regardless of what time it starts.
Yep. And what I've done here, guys, for those that are tuning in, stuff like that, I've circled where the timing is. This is going to get a little confusing because this is not going to be like a 3-hour snow event, stuff like that, and then it's going to be ending. This is going to be drawn out from when you get started on Thursday all the way to, in some cases, late Friday into the Friday night here. That's why that winter storm watch is to Saturday morning. So keep that in mind for those that are going to be trying to have Friday night plans and stuff like that. This is going to be a 24-hour stretch of winter weather, which does include the potential of heavy snow, freezing rain, sleet, etc. here. So that's why that's why we made the timing. This timing, I think, Derek, it took us 45 minutes to make this graphic.
Yeah.
Because we just had to, break down the certain areas that we're going to see it here. So for everybody in western and southwest Arkansas, ball game's going to get started about 6 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't be surprised the Queen, Texarkana, Mena, Fort Smith. You may start seeing some snow as early as first thing Thursday morning. Then this is going to overspread the state throughout much of the day on Thursday and into Thursday night. I say by the time 4 or 5 o'clock on Thursday, the majority of the area should start to see snowfall across the board. By folks in Little Rock, and this is where things are going to get a lot chaotic here. You're talking a noontime. A lot of people are going to be going to lunch, etc. We're going to figure out the school closures and the business closures and stuff like that. But it is going to be a chaotic situation on Thursday, especially if you're planning on traveling.
Yep.
So we're expecting this coming in right around noon on Thursday. The most likely timing is probably going to be right around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then this will start to move eastward into East Arkansas. And it's just going to stay here, guys. It's not going to be a once in, 3 hours and that's it. This is going to be here once it starts. As you can see in that most likely timing from 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. on, Thursday and Friday for Southwest Arkansas. Central Arkansas, we're talking 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon to 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. And then in eastern, northeastern Arkansas, we're talking from 6 p.m. Thursday evening to 6 p.m. on Friday. So that's why we're telling you guys this is going to be a situation where if you have to get out on Thursday, please be very careful here. We're fully anticipating school closures and stuff like that.
Yep.
If you got to go to the store, try to get this done early. Don't try to wait to the last second because you're just going to run into a lot of travel issues by the time we get into your Thursday time frame.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So another thing is I want to mention
Mhm.
is that this very well could particularly come in waves.
Yes.
So that being said, while you will have periods of light snow and heavy snow,
Mhm.
We will have a duration of heavy snow. But in between those heavy snow bands, you will have a period of basically where the snow slacks up.
Yep.
And that means it's done.
Yep.
Because this system is going to come in several waves
I'll draw the
throughout a
direction.
24-hour period.
I'll draw the direction of where the snow is going to be moving through. So it's going to start in northeastern Texas, down here along the Red River, and then it's going to move northeast throughout southwest Arkansas and into central Arkansas, and then it will move into eastern and northeastern Arkansas here. Okay, so that's going to be the general motion on where this snowfall is going to be happening, or in some cases in South Arkansas, the freezing rain, etc. here down there. This is going to be the general motion from southwest, northeast, kind of like a severe weather threat, where you have these storms that come from northeast Texas and southeast Oklahoma and just kind of move through. It's going to be the same general motion with the winter weather here as we move into your Thursday and into your Friday time frame here, guys. So hopefully y'all got a good look at this graphic. We're just trying to speed ahead so that way we can start getting into the questions here. But this is all going to be posted on the page as soon as this live stream is over here. So I want to make that clear too. So let's talk about why the majority of people are here, these
Yep.
snowfall totals. And I want to stress that this is very subject to change. Some folks are going to drop. Some folks, especially in the central third, Derek,
Yeah.
could actually increase over the next 24 to 48 hours here. Go ahead.
So, obviously, as we came out with this morning with the initial round of totals and stuff like that, confidence has increased significantly of that banding of heavy snow, pretty much from west to east across the state. That says Central Third along the I-40, I-30 to 70, basically from the Ouachita Mountains straight across, obviously into our Delta region, and then of course into the West Memphis and the Memphis metro area. Now, that being said, we have highlighted an area across Central Arkansas, from the metro down to Sheridan, and then of course west from Arkadelphia, Daisy, Mena, Mount Ida, etc.,
Yep.
where we could see locally higher totals. And we're going to watch this closely because the signal is there for higher than 8 inches of snow.
Yeah, and that's that's what we were sitting here trying to figure out the map and stuff like that. We were talking about that potential. Some folks, especially in the Ouachita, West Arkansas, I'd say that corridor, and we have this drawn out, but I'll make it a little bit more in focus so you guys kind of get a visual. Waldron, Conway, Little Rock, Sheridan, Arkadelphia, over to the Queen. This area right in here, this is where we're going to kind of keep an eye on here. Now, obviously, this has got heavy support with the global models here of wanting to indicate the potential of 8 to 10 inches of snow. However, we don't just use the global zero, we use every other computer model data with it as well. So there's confidence there that there could be the potential of 8 to 10 inches of snow. Obviously, once we get into tomorrow, we'll start fine-tuning where the exact area of that upgrade potentially could be, and we will go from there here. But that general area, yeah, the storm track, where that band is going to set up, this is what we're going to have to keep an eye on here as we move into your Thursday and Friday time frame here. Now, elsewhere across the state, just a generalized 4 to 8 inches across the area here. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Obviously, here comes the uncertainty. Now, for our folks in Northwest Arkansas, this is, and quick shout out to Ken Williams for, we were talking about this earlier on. This is not a dry air situation up there in Northwest Arkansas. This is going to be a situation where you have two pieces of energy. One's going to come through on Thursday, and then you're going to have another wave that's going to come through as we move into Thursday night and Friday. That wave looks to be just south to prevent you guys from seeing a 2 to 4 or any higher amounts up there. So it's not the dry air, so to speak. It's just the placement of the low, and it looks like it's going to favor more central, the central 2/3 of the state, versus the northern and northwestern part. And also, I'm seeing the comments and stuff about the wet snow and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit. I've gone low on power outages right now. However, please keep in mind, folks, that this is going to change over the next 24 to 48 hours. We're going to get more data in. I promise you guys, we're going to be watching the situation here. Energy sent that text out, so they're watching the situation too. I'm just trying to see right now, I think low to moderate, because when you start talking moderate, you got to have the wind speeds with it. You got to have everything like that to support the power outage potential here. So are you talking an isolated, localized threat, or are you talking a widespread threat with the power outage potential here? So just kind of keep that in mind at the spare time here. Go ahead, Eric. What you got?
All right.
Yeah,
So now for my folks in South Arkansas.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why there's such a sharp gradient for my folks there.
Yep.
Again, this is where we're going to be dealing with a lot of sleet and freezing rain. This is where we could be seeing throughout the day a mix of sleet, a mix of freezing rain, mix of snow, and even potentially a section where we see just the cold rain, especially for my folks from Crossett to Lake Village, where we may sneak that warm layer all the way down to the surface. Now, I don't really anticipate a turnover just all rain, but it wouldn't shock me if we have a 3 to 6 hour period where we are just all rain with temperatures at 33, 34 degrees, but then as your low continues to pull off towards the northeast, we will drop back down. Snowfall will wrap around that low, and then of course, obviously, everybody in South Arkansas will end in snow, regardless of what happens. So we're worried about icing, especially along the Louisiana border.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think we've gotten through the snowfall totals here. We've kind of addressed the heaviest snow in central. The one down in southern Arkansas and northwest. I see the comments too, Dustin. I see it.
Yes, I talk. I just letting them go over everything, guys. You're good.
So we're gonna give him a chance. I promise you guys. He's just kind of monitoring the comments right now. That's why we brought him on, because we're gonna be using him to kind of help out with the Q&A and everything like that. So we're just trying to speed through these graphics as quick as possible here. Okay. So here is the travel impact here throughout much of the area, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be trying to, go out, do stuff. I'm telling you guys this right now, from Thursday at lunch, whatever you got to do, get it done. Okay. Because from lunch Thursday all the way to Friday, you're going to have the snow across Arkansas. Okay. This is one thing that I want to stress right now. There's going to be, I already see it. I already foresee it. It's going to be gridlock in Central Arkansas Thursday afternoon, because you're going to have a lot of people trying to get off of work. You're going to try people with stuff like that. By folks that control that, if you can get these guys off early on Thursday or try to shut things down pretty quick, I would do it, because the conditions are going to deteriorate very quickly as we move into late Thursday morning, throughout Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, much of the day on Friday. Don't plan on going anywhere on Friday unless you got a vehicle that supports it. There was a lot of people that are saying that temperature is going to warm above freezing on Friday. That is going to be a no for much of the area. And then we'll worry about the refreezing and stuff like that on Saturday here. But travel hazardous conditions are expected across much of the area as we move into your Thursday time frame. Obviously, north and west, it goes some travel issues, but I think overall, probably with the next update, we'll probably upgrade them to a moderate too.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I think you're going to have some travel issues just pretty much statewide across the area here, guys. So that's something that we just have to watch as we move into Thursday and Friday here. Okay, so let's talk about the freezing rain, Derek. I'm gonna let you take over that for just a little bit.
So for my folks in South Arkansas,
Yeah.
as we talked about, we are worried about that area of a winter mix, especially for my folks south of Hope, south of Camden, Monticello, etc. This is where that warm air is expected to kind of embed in throughout the duration of this event. And again, we may even start as freezing rain, especially across my folks, on the 82 corridor, and that's where we expect a area, of a quarter up to a half-inch ice. My concern is that we could see a prolonged period of icing in this area before that transition over to snow. And if there were to be power issues, I think this is the area of the state that would be most at risk for that.
Yeah.
Given the fact we will have that prolonged period of freezing rain. Now, that's not saying is you won't transition over. Everybody will transition over in South Arkansas by the end of this event. But we will have to deal with that period of freezing rain as that warm Gulf air moves in, especially across southern Arkansas. Now, as you get closer to I-20, for my folks in northern Louisiana, those ice totals go up significantly.
Yep.
So southern Arkansas, you are in the very edge of what we call a ice storm type situation, and I think you will mix back and forth between that sleet and ice throughout this event.
So I want to address this too. The power outage up here. So you notice something that you went from the snowfall totals and it said low, but then you go to the ice totals and it said moderate. The only reason why we went moderate with the power outages here, because you're going to have significant icing potential down here in southern Arkansas, North Louisiana here. So the overall with that, and we'll make that a little more clear with the graphics, stuff like that, the overall is going to be low for power outages here. But for South Arkansas, that's going to be where you're going to have to watch for the power outage potential down here with the ice and stuff like that. And obviously further north, we'll have to watch with the heavy snow potential that may weigh down those power lines as we move into Thursday and Friday. Obviously, with tomorrow, we'll get even more data in. We'll start to break things down a little bit more. And that's where we're going to start analyzing the power outage stretch just a little bit more. Now, fortunately for us here in Arkansas, we won't have 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with this. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a moderate for power outages. It'd be pushing extreme if we had the wind gusts here. But we don't have that as we move into Thursday and Friday. But the heavy snow potential, the heavy wet snow potential, and then the freezing rain potential down there in southern Arkansas, that's something that we got to keep an eye on here, okay? Obviously, the sleet totals, not really expecting a whole lot of sleet with this. There could be a little bit down there in southern Arkansas. This should be mainly a transition from heavy snow to freezing rain to cold rain across the area here, just because of how sharp what we call your warm air advection is coming in. So that's something that we'll have to watch as we move on the next day or so. But the sleet down there just doesn't look like it's going to be a lot. This looks like just going to be primarily heavy snow and freezing rain across the area here. So this is a graphic that Heidi, one of our forecasters, made. And this is kind of, just for fun, because, we got kiddos that are watching this. The snowball making skill. And this is a new product that we have here. And for our folks in Central Arkansas, the Central 2/3, this is going to be a heavy, wet snow. This is going to be a snow that's going to have, you'll be able to make snowballs with the snowman and everything like that. So, if you got kiddos watching this right now, I would show them this graphic, like, hey, this is what we've got, and, this is a likelihood that you will be able to go outside and do that. Southern Arkansas, obviously, with the ice and the lowered snowfall totals down there, it does look like it's going to be a little less likely. northwest Arkansas, looks like it's going to be pretty possible up there for you guys. So this is, like I said, just a graphic that, mainly for those that are just trying to figure out, is this the type of snow that's going to be, that you could use to make snowballs with and stuff like that here. So I think we've gotten through all the graphics. That was all 9 graphics here. Let's go ahead and start talking about the comments here and the questions here. Dustin, that one is very, very small for some reason. If you can you read that off for Ben?
Yes, it's from an educator. Parents, encourage your kids to watch Arkansas Weather Watchers when they go live. Put it on your smart TV and call your kids to watch. They go into incredible detail, a ton of science brought into the way they that is relevant to their lives. They do a great job of explaining not only the forecast, but why we get the weather we get. You might encourage a future meteorologist. This is a science lesson. It doesn't matter if it's snow or storm or severe weather. That is a great and interesting science lesson.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that comment. Dustin, if you can pick out, I'm going to let you pick out some comments, and you can read them off. We can answer them together. We've gone through all the graphics. This is going to be available on the page after this live stream here. So we'll just, between the 3 of us, we'll take turns and try to knock out as many questions as we can here. So from Ryan, how long do you think the snow is going to stick around here? Dustin or Derek, one of you guys can take it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're
I
good.
What
saw
do
a
you-
comment about Snowball and Sam Pittman.
Oh man! All right. This ain't all right. We ain't talking about Arkansas sports in here now.
I was trying to keep my composure, but I saw the comment.
Oh, you're good.
All right. So So the biggest thing is with what
Get
we're
it
dealing-
together, Derek.
I'm trying. All right. So what we're dealing with, okay, is we're still dealing with a very, very, very deep Arctic air mass.
Yep.
So behind your snow, once we clear these skies out, I'm very concerned, especially Friday night. If not Friday night, definitely Saturday night, as skies clear out, we will see these temperatures tank, especially in areas where our snowfall is the deepest. We will potentially bring these lows down to the single digits and teens across much of the state. What that's going to do is it's going to refreeze our roadways. Now, that being said, even though as we go into Saturday, we don't expect to get above freezing. Sunday, we barely get above freezing. Sunday, we finally start to get that 30, 35, 36 time frame. But again, we're still going to be well below freezing at night. Your roadways, your main roads, obviously Saturday, RDOT, and of course our city crews, etc., will start to improve. But it will take 2 to 3 days after this event to really improve the roads.
Yep.
Your back roads will probably be really bad even through on Monday.
Okay.
As we get to Monday, our highs are supposed to get into the 40s again, and I think we finally start melting some of this off. Not gonna mention beyond that, but we start to melt some of this off.
Yeah.
But temperatures still going to be way below average. So we're going to be dealing with the snow. I fully expect it to stick around especially on your turf, and your ground for several days.
Okay. All right.
Now, here's you a question, Cameron.
Okay. Could the system potentially shift more northern and southern and change the outcome of the amounts, or as we get closer, or is it pretty much sticking with the central path? I'd say 80%. The path is pretty much certain, but I mean, all 3 of us here, we've seen this before. We've seen this song and dance, where you'll get a certain path already in place, then you'll get to Thursday, and then all of a sudden it hits you with a curveball. So obviously, yeah, things can change. We've seen that happen so many times, it's not even funny. I think if this water starts trending a little bit further south, then your heavy snowfall totals will go with it, and you start introducing southern Arkansas to the snow party. It starts going north. Southern Arkansas get introduced to the cold rain party, and North Arkansas starts getting a little bit more snow. So, Michael, thank you so much. Really great question, and just want to clarify that things can and still will change over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yep. Justin,
Here you go.
You have one in there too.
Yeah. So
I have one in there. What do you mean?
Someone
asked.
for Dustin.
Yeah, someone was asking for you, I think.
Well, we'll go ahead and get this one, Derek, and then I'll see what that question is.
All right, I can see it. I've noticed with the previous winter storm to our north, the forecast February and temps have not been reached. Is it possible the snowpack prevents? Yes. So this is what we've been talking about for several days, is your snowpack to the north. Sunday's storm system, while we were having severe weather, this is what we talked about. That snowpack to our north would greatly affect this system. Hence why your temperatures, even today, we didn't get above freezing for the majority of the state.
Yeah.
That was not forecast. That was not foreseen. That one, Cameron and I both talked about that this afternoon. Neither one of us saw that. We saw a little bit of sunshine, the temperatures, in the low to mid 30s today. We didn't even get anywhere near it for much of the state. So yes, the Arctic air coupled with your snowpack in the north and then you're going to add a snowpack here as well, will keep that warm air from moving north. I would expect to not get above freezing for much of the state till probably at least late Sunday afternoon, maybe even on Monday.
So Justin, next comment.
That question was from some of the guys I work with. So shout out to the guys I know on working pest control. They're over here messaging me left and right, giving me a hard time. So
I was wondering what that was about.
They're
So
sitting here like,
Cody
okay,
Coombs
well, you want any pests that are entering the home? Yeah,
Cody
mice. They're
Coombs
gonna be coming in.
has been also messaging and commenting on the page as well.
Yeah.
He's with our pest control Fairway Lawns.
That's awesome, man.
And he was actually in the tornado in Little Rock.
Yeah, I think you got the video from earlier on. So, what we got next?
Let's see. So they're wanting you to talk about the colors that you were separating out right there.
That's a good one. So, has two colors here. So if you end up, and this happens all the time with graphics, you try to make it as localized as possible, but even then, it's still a little tricky. If you end up on that line, hope is like right there between 3 and 5 and 4 and 7. That's what we call a sharp gradient. And I would say if you end up on a line like that, I would take the lowest, which would be 3, and then the highest would be in that situation 7, and put 3 to 7 in that area. If you end up on that line, because that means you're right on a gradient on where you can see 3 to 5 inches of snow or 4 to 7. So hopefully that answered your question. That's a really good question, by the way. Y'all are doing awesome with the questions so far here. So Dustin's background has me cackling up with the serene settings. We're talking about a winter storm. Hey, I told him earlier, it looks great. We need it. We need it, baby. We need it.
So here's some people want to know about Texarkana and Southwest Arkansas, kind of getting close to that freezing rain. Kind of getting towards the early onset of snow there as well. So.
Okay, Dustin, if you want to take that one, that's Trey's comment. If you want to take that, I don't know if you can see the. It's going to be the snowfall graphic.
It's right there on the edge of the line, and the problem with it is it's going to be kind of one of those things that you're going to have to play a wait and see game as it gets closer to the actual when the storm comes in, because it's going to be one of those things that down there in the south, so how far does that warm nose come up that Derek was talking about earlier? And if it comes up further north, then we could be talking about more ice and less snow, or if it stays down there in Louisiana, then Texarkana could possibly see a little bit more snow potential.
Definitely. All right. So what else do we got?
Let's see.
And like I said, guys, we're gonna try to get to your comments as quickly as we can. You got to realize there's a million comments that are coming in, so it's gonna be a little bit. This one I have been asked a lot.
A whole lot.
And we're gonna do this. I'm gonna put my opinion on it. Derek's gonna put his, and then Dustin's gonna put his on there. So mine is going to be no, and it's because of the fact that first of all, you're a lot warmer this go around. It's not sub-zero outside like it was at 21. Totals. Now here's the deal. Here's the interesting part. The totals could challenge what we dealt with that first wave with the 21 event. Remember, 21 was 2 different separate winter weather events, because you have one day where, and I remember this because we were trying to get out of the studio, and Kroger was just empty and all that. There was that one lull day between the 2 events where you had the sun out, and then obviously you had the back winter storm. So could this one event challenge one of the separate events we had in 21? Sure. But is it going to challenge the entire event we had 2 feet of snow?
No.
I'm going to say no to that. That's mine. What you got for me there?
So like Cameron said, with the 21 event, we were way below freezing.
Yeah.
With this event, we're dealing with more of a standard Arkansas Arctic blast with the temperatures in the 20s and 30s, with lows in the teens, to our 20s again. Again, Arkansas averages anywhere from 1 to 2 inches snow in South Arkansas to around 3 to 4 inch snow in the central third. Obviously, our mountain areas in the Washtenaw, the Ozarks, are going to be closer to that 6 to 8 range, when it comes to average snowfall for a given year. So you go anywhere south of the Ozarks and east of the Washtenaws, you're going to hit your above average snowfall with this one event.
Yeah.
And 21 was a rare exception. It was a generational event. One of those rare exceptions where we deal with an exceptional amount of snowfall with an active track continuing for several days. Now I'm not saying that we're going to have an active track, because even beyond this, we are watching more potential out there.
That's
But
good.
again, anytime you have Arctic current in place, you expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
And no two events are alike, be it severe weather, winter weather, tropical weather, etc. And one thing I've learned in meteorology over the years is that you can compare those. You can compare one event to the next, but you don't use that and say, "Oh, it's going to be exactly that."
All right, Dustin, your last man up. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, y'all pretty much figured all that out and got everything taken care of. I'm moving on to the next question, because no two systems are the same. And what are you going to do here? Sit around here and try to compare something that is not got the same situation in effect? I don't think the wind chills and everything else are going to be sitting here bringing this in down to near what we were having the other day. So
Goodness
in
gracious.
2021.
All right. So,
I want you. Hey, this is a good question. I want you guys to answer: is why you don't trust weather apps.
So this one is a situation, and we get this all the time, and I promise you, it's no problem. Everything we do here is human generated. We don't sit here. Most of your weather apps take the data that we look at 24/7 and spew it out to you. That's why some weather apps are like, okay, you're only going to get an inch, and then you get to like the day of, and it's all of a sudden like, oh wait a minute, you're getting 7 to 8 inches of snow. Sorry about that. I was it was a little late. So that's why with our forecast, we tell you guys how it is. We tell you guys, this is the possibility, because we take that same data that the weather apps and stuff like that have. We generate it. We give our own inputs to it from experience and everything like that. We're like, hey, okay, this is what we've got. This is the pattern and everything like that. And we tell you guys what happens. So that's why the weather apps right now are like giving you all these crazy amounts. But then we say otherwise, because we're like, okay, well, this data is wrong. Let's say for example, the weather app's using the GFS, but we're using the Euro or the ensemble data and stuff like that. Well, our thoughts are going to be different from what the weather app is trying to tell you. So that's why it's no disrespect to the weather app. I know it's for a quick deal and trying to let you know what your day is, stuff like that. But that's why our forecasts are so much different compared to a weather app, because ours is human generated, and what you get on a weather app is computer generated here. So, Macy, I'm ready to build a snowman with my daughter. It's our first one. It's Radar's first snow too. Radar is our German Shepherd mix dog. It's gonna be his first snow too. I think it's gonna be a lot of big snows for a lot of people across the state. So, really love that.
Here you go, Derek. I got this one here if you want. Well, never mind. It keeps jumping around on me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because we're getting comments, like a ton of comments.
There was one talking about what it was. It was talking about, Derek, was the weather temperature affecting the amount of snow and what kind of snow you're getting.
So, I don't know. Did you hear that?
I did not.
Can you repeat that, Dustin?
Talking about the temperature and how it can affect what kind of snow you're getting and, how much snow you would get.
Yeah.
So, when you deal with temperatures, you deal with ratio. And this is good. Here we go. Welcome to Derek's math school.
Yeah.
So again,
Get ready,
Time
folks.
to check out.
Time to check out, guys.
So when you're dealing with winter weather, and it's something, especially with snowfall, you deal with ratios. And in meteorology, you got to deal with this, especially when we're talking about severe weather, winter weather. But You start at a 10-to-1 ratio, 10 inches of snow for every 1 inch of liquid. So your typical rule of thumb is the warmer, the wetter, the lower the ratios. The colder, the drier the air, the higher the ratio. So, for example, a 15-to-1 ratio would be 15 inches of snow for that 1 inch of rainfall. Same exception. So, let's say your ratio is 6-to-1, it would only be 6 inches of snow for that 1 inch. Meaning, let's say if our average rainfall rate would have been a half an inch, you would only be getting 3 inches of snow.
Yeah.
So temperature has a lot to play in it, but also the upper levels of the atmosphere as well. Meteorology is a ever-changing thing.
Wait 1 second, guys. Let's just dealing with something real quick. All right, looks like we're good. Okay. All right, awesome. So, what you got for me? So, let me see here. I see a comment, Dustin. We've got some in here from our server that let me look real quick. Somebody tagged me in it. I don't know where it was. I owe someone like a snow angel from the last event. Let me look.
Oh.
Look good. Yeah, Michael Rutledge. Yeah. When Snow's Camp owes a snow angels making video. Okay, so since it's gonna be 29 and 30 degrees this go around, I'll do it. You will not catch me out there when it's 6-7 degrees outside and it's sub-zero and it's that dry snow. So I'll do it when it's 29 and 30 degrees here, but I'm not gonna do it when it's like 7. Let's see, Austin. Will there be the potential of thunder snow? Now, if Austin, if you go look at LZK's Little Rock's area forecast discussion, they actually talk about that thunder snow, and they're saying no to it right now because we don't have what's called a loft instability. We have the instability enough to support heavy snow, but you're not going to get thunder snow out of it. I know it's a little confusing, but they have a whole discussion on their website, their forecast discussion, that breaks it all down and kind of describes why we're not seeing thunder snow out of this. But that's a really good question, because knowing when you start talking high-end snowfall events, you start questioning on, oh, hey, is this going to be a thunder snow event, etc. here, guys. So,
And also, Cameron, something seen on the comments earlier that's already jumped off of there.
yeah,
People are asking about school closings on Thursday. We don't control any school closings or do anything of that nature, but we will be reporting them on our app, and I'm assuming Roku Live and everything else that, if you want to download our app on there to keep up with that, as soon as we get them in and see them, we will be posting them, but we don't know of just a couple at the moment that have closed that I remember.
Yep. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, school closures. Do you guys remember how the Weather Channel used to be? When you were growing up and you saw the school closings, like scrolling and stuff like that. That's how it's going to be on our Roku and Fire TV, and we'll try to get YouTube up over the next couple of days to have that. So that way you guys kind of keep an eye on the school closures. We'll also have it on our website and stuff like that. So we'll have that taken care of. And then number 2, the Central Third. So when we talk about the Central Third, if you take a look at the 4 to 7 inch range, that's from Fort Smith, the Queen, Pine Bluff, Helena, this general area what we call the Central Third of the state here. I'd say pretty much half the state right there. This is the general area that we are talking about, from pretty much that 4 to 7 area, from Fort Smith to Hope to Camden to Monticello up towards Blytheville. That general area right in the smack dab of Arkansas. That's the area that we're talking about at this current time. So, what you got for me?
People are saying I'm really loud and Derek's really, really soft. So
I know.
this is the same thing as yesterday.
I don't know. He tends to do this away from the microphone. So I'm trying to get him to get closer to the microphone. Microphone's like right here, but between where we're at. But yeah, so
while we have so many, I will say this. So while we have so many people on this stream,
yeah.
So if all goes according to plan,
Yeah.
this could be one of our final systems in this
setting. Yeah.
So
the net setting.
That's our hope.
Yeah. So I've got the timing back up. So, Tiffany, do we think it will melt enough for travel on Saturday? I know it's getting ready to happen here. Saturday, a lot of people go. You got to realize something. You've had Christmas. You've had New Year's. A lot of people have what is it called? Cabin fever, where you're trapped in the house for so long. I'm gonna say first half on Saturday will not be recommended whatsoever. You're gonna drop like a rock Friday night and Saturday. Now, during the day on Saturday, I say your main roads, your interstates, your main travel roads may start to improve because RDOT's going to come through and try to knock that out as quickly as possible. Your back roads are going to be trashed. Just going to tell you that right now. That will not improve until probably Sunday or Monday at the earliest. So if you're trying to get out on Saturday, if you live close to a main road, you should be fine. I think close to the later part of the morning into the afternoon when your sun angle is at its highest. And obviously, like I said before, give RDOT time to get out there, take care of the roads, stuff like that. They're going to be working hard over the next couple of days here. But I think by Saturday afternoon, the main roads should start to improve. The back roads is going to be where things are going to get rather treacherous for a little bit, and then it'll start to go there. So
now this is part of that timing map that we have there also. But Derek, you were talking about this a little bit earlier when we was coming up with some of the graphics.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
I've got it up right here.
winter weather systems are never exact. That's why with our timing map, we went with kind of our earliest idea, and then of course the duration of the event, the most likely time frame you will see snowfall, and when travel is not advised whatsoever. And then, of course, that ending time. Now, both the start time and the ending times could very well change as we get closer to the event. Something that Cameron and I have both been watching with this event and the rest of our forecast team is, does the system slow down and stall out? If it slows down even a little bit, well, then this ending time moves to late Friday evening, early Saturday morning. Especially as we get to central and eastern Arkansas, we could potentially see that slow down more so than southwest Arkansas. So it's something we're gonna have to watch again. But it can definitely start sooner. But everything's pretty much been on track from the get go with this storm.
Yeah. So for folks that are asking about timing, and this is where I'm gonna challenge you guys to start reading the graphics here, guys. Okay, because all your information is right here. Here's your cities. There's a certain time of where it is. It's color coded, and it's going to be on this left side over here. I want you guys over the next couple of days to meet us halfway. We're not. Oh yeah, I just realized that. Thank you. Yeah, I meant for 25. I just realized that. That's funny. That's funny. I'll change that. But yeah, you got to meet us halfway, guys. Got to meet us halfway. So my folks, I got one from El Dorado. Down there in El Dorado, it is going to be a combination of everything here. You're going to have the snow potential and the freezing rain potential down there, and it could be rather significant ice totals down there in southern Arkansas and the El Dorado area. So the biggest thing I would stress, today's Tuesday, you have tomorrow, and you have, I dare say, you have a little bit of time first thing Thursday morning. It's going to be limited because I'm looking at data right now on this other screen. Looks like we're going to get the ball game started pretty quick on Thursday. So you have tomorrow. If you haven't gone to the store, you ain't got stuff prepared, get there, because over the Thursday.
Don't wait till the last minute.
Correct. The Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame, maybe even the Sunday. Don't expect to be doing a lot of traveling down there in southern Arkansas, the El Dorado area here. Kent's question, I'll let one of you guys take that. So it's going to be could there ever be lake effect snow throughout the cities and the river?
So it's very rare, but it does happen. As a matter of fact, I really think that actually happened this morning across some areas of the state where we had little areas where you had like areas of really heavy snow. Springdale especially this morning saw a lot of it with a lot of travel issues. We saw it here in the metro as well, and I know certain areas around the state. It is unheard of in Arkansas, but not uncommon. But you have to be extremely cold, similar to what we had today. But Arctic air squeezes out any available moisture in the atmosphere, and with our water temperatures as warm as they have been, seeing that the river effect type snow, stuff like that, is not unheard of. But you won't see it similar to what you see up in the Northeast.
Yeah. So also I gotta I got it. I got the year taken care of here. I didn't realize. I looked up there. I was like, you got the wrong year. I was like, oh, that's 20. Oh, it's 25. It's not 24, guys. All right. So, let's see here. Dustin, what else you got?
People are still confused. Some of them are with the timing, how they're broken up into 3 different areas. So
Okay.
you just quickly go
All right.
while they're wanting to know what the colors mean.
Okay. So, all right. First of all, folks, we try to make this as clear as possible. We try our hardest to. I don't know how we can make it clearer. If there's suggestions that we could do, stuff like that. There's a reason why they're broken up like this. Everything's on the left side of the graphic here. So let's start with number 1. Okay, number 1, your earliest timing is going to be 6 a.m. Thursday morning. Okay, that's the 9th. Your most likely timing is going to be from 9 o'clock Thursday to 9 o'clock on Friday. This is going to be a 24-hour event. This is not going to be a one and done 2-3 hour event. Folks, I think a lot of people are missing this. This is going to be a 24-hour event. This is why we're live. This is why we're stressing this right now. Okay, all our stuff's broken up, so that way you guys kind of figure out what the time is going to be. But this is not going to be a couple hour inconvenience deal and that's it. This is going to be a 24-hour event where this is once conditions start. You're not going to be able to try to get out and go travel on Thursday night, Friday, first half of your Saturday time frame here. We'll see what happens Saturday afternoon, especially on the main roads. But my folks, Southwest Arkansas, this is going to start 7 o'clock first thing Thursday morning. Then it will overspread the state as we move into your lunch hour, your 3 p.m., etc. All of your information, I'm stressing this. Please, folks, meet us halfway. All of your information is on the graphics. Do not skim over the next couple of days. You can't skim these graphics and have a timing. The reason why the timing is so broad like this is because the data is like that. This is going to be a 24-hour event.
Or more.
So keep that in mind. This is not a one and done. This is once you get started, you're not going to be able to be done until sometime Friday afternoon, Friday evening here. Maybe in some cases as far as Saturday at the current time. So just kind of keep that in mind as we move into the next couple of days. We're trying to make these graphics as easy as possible, guys, but you've got to meet us halfway here at this point, okay? Lori, great question. Once it falls, it will stick. I think there was what happened up there in Northwest Arkansas was Springdale, I do believe, today. They had what's called, what was it, lake effect or was it river effect up there?
It was literally a small area of snowfall. There wasn't necessarily a river or lake effect.
Yeah.
But there was an area of snowfall just below our radar view.
Mm-hmm.
So in the very lowest levels of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it all stuck because temperatures are below freezing. So one thing I want to mention about this, we have been below freezing since about, Cameron, if I remember right, since about probably 5 or 6 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
For much of the state. Now tomorrow we are going to warm up a little bit. We will have at least partial sun tomorrow.
Yeah.
Before those clouds move right back in. Tomorrow, but again, 31, 32, 33. That's not going to really warm those roads much.
Yeah.
Then you're going to drop right down below freezing tomorrow night.
Yep.
And many of us will not see freezing again till Sunday.
Yeah.
So your roads are going to be bad for several days.
Ryan, yes. And I think there's a lot of misconception about people that think we just do severe weather. We don't. We do winter weather, tropical weather. Anything major happens here in Arkansas, we do it. So yes, we will be back here same time tomorrow evening going over this. It's a massive winter storm potential for us here in Arkansas. So yes, we will be here tomorrow going over that.
It's a 75 county winter storm.
Yeah, pretty
Arkansas,
much. Yeah.
You've been waiting on this. It's coming.
Yep. So let's see here. What you got for me, Dustin? Okay. Oh my goodness gracious, Rob.
I love it.
I love it. Sure. Yeah. Go to East Arkansas. Knock yourself out.
There's a question, like I said, we've been talking about Northwest Arkansas. Folks, Northwest Arkansas could be a little missing out on this event, actually.
Yeah.
Not completely. Doesn't mean you won't see snowfall and it won't stick if it falls, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be seeing a lot of the snow totals that the central Arkansas area will see.
Yeah. So the conception up there in northwestern Arkansas in terms of trying to figure out where you're going to get snow and stuff like that. It's not a drier issue up there. It's so much as, does your system trend south or does it trend north? If it trends south, you're not going to get much. If it trends north, you'll start introducing it here. So we'll keep an eye up there in northwestern Arkansas, but I think the majority up there, actually, matter of fact, Philip, that's a really good question. Could there be some dry slotting? I think what what's called your low-level jet that's coming in, it's going to be bringing in the moisture, by the way. I don't think Arkansas is going to have a dry slotting issue. I think if there were to be a dry slotting issue, it's going to be in Kansas, Missouri, etc. up there in the Midwest. Do what?
And
Yeah.
down in Louisiana,
Yeah,
Mississippi,
exactly. With the
where your low track
Midwest.
is going to be a little closer.
Correct. So that's something that we'll have to kind of fine tune. But right now, it's just Northwest Arkansas is right on that line of, hey, this trends north, then it goes from there. And then if it trends south, then obviously your total will start falling from there. Martha, thank you so much for that comment. Thank you for taking the time to share with us. Do you think we could lose power with this? Power outages are possible. Energy did send out a text earlier, and I think there's other power outage companies that did send out texts earlier about the power outage potential. That's something that we're going to watch. Right now, I'm kind of in that zone of low to moderate because with heavy snow, it's tricky. You don't want to, sound the alarm for power outages and it doesn't happen, but then you don't want to say no power outages and then it happens. So heavy snow is tricky to kind of figure out power outages here. Now, I think the best shot is going to be down in South Arkansas with the ice.
Mhm.
You don't need wind for that. You could just get heavy freezing rain and start snapping tree limbs and bringing power lines down and all that, and that's where you're going to have those issues here. So, flight delays coming into Little Rock. I'll let you guys take care of that.
So really, at every airport, of course, in the Mid-South,
Yeah.
is well equipped, for this type of event. Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, and of course the one in Fayetteville as well.
Yeah.
And down in Jackson. So the biggest concern with this is that I fully expect to see a lot of delays. There's
Yeah.
going to be that is just not, that's something that is gonna happen.
Yep.
But
Can
the amount of delays remains to be seen.
Dustin, can you pull up Kelly's comment? Because we're getting a lot of people that are trying to come at us because they can't see the graphics, guys. Guys, all you gotta do is turn your phone and it makes it larger.
No,
Like,
somebody
yeah.
just sent a spam in here, and that if someone could moderator could take care of that spam.
The
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw that.
You talking about
yeah,
this comment here?
yeah, no, it was somebody. Who was it? I have it up on my side.
Talking about all of our graphics being smaller.
Yeah. So the reason why,
Okay.
and I'll show you the reason why your graphics are small when you look at the live stream is because you have your phone like this. You gotta turn your phone like that in order for you to be able to see the
Or
graphics
download
of
the
phone.
app on Roku
Exactly.
and watch it on TV.
Yeah. And keep in mind this, folks, too. We're gonna have these graphics after the live stream. Like, it's not gonna be like, if you miss the live stream, you're not gonna see the graphics. This is going to get posted like as soon as the live stream is ended. It's gonna be that's it. The graphics gonna be on the page, so you don't have to worry about missing the graphics, guys. I know a lot of people are afraid of that, but we promise you guys, as soon as this live stream's over, we're gonna have it posted on the page. That way you can see it for yourself here. But all you gotta do is just turn your phone just like this, and the graphics become bigger on your screen.
Austin
Awesome.
brought up something.
Yeah.
That is really, really good. Austin, hope you're doing well. So it's something, Cameron.
Yeah, we talked about, yeah.
And of course storms.
Yep.
If you wanted to talk about that.
So what ends up happening in that situation is you have two pieces of energy that's coming out from the southwest. That's why Arkansas is getting a winter storm. Now, what ends up happening is I haven't seen anything from Storm Prediction Center about this. You got to watch the Gulf Coast. Because if the Gulf Coast starts getting a severe threat, and especially a rather significant severe threat on the Gulf Coast, it robs the moisture. Because you got to think, when storms go up, what do they take with them? They take moisture. They take the warm air and all that. So just keep that in mind. If we have that happen on the Gulf Coast, that could be one of the situations where I think the central part of Arkansas is safe, and I think southern Arkansas is safe. My folks in North Arkansas, you're probably going to be starting to come out with the pitchforks if that happens, because it's going to cut somebody off. for snow.
They can
So-
come to you.
No, they cannot come to me. They're going to go to that man right over there, or they're going to go to you. So, yeah, so that's something that we'll have to. No, sir. No, that's something we'll watch. And Austin, thank you for the comment, man.
Yeah.
I really hope you're doing well. Can you make a snowman in BB? Yes. There's this awesome graphic. Like I said, Heidi made this graphic last night. The snowball making scale. I think it's going to be great for much of Arkansas, across the area. Okay, so Dustin, what else you got? We're planning on being here till about what, Derek? 8:40-ish. We're 8:19.
About 8:30.
8:30. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So charge your device.
Charging your-
Yep. Love that comment. Very, very, very good comment. I just want to say thanks for having us on Roku. Y'all download the Arkansas Weather Watchers app on Roku, and I've got that pulled up, by the way. You can go ahead, Derek.
Yep. So again, for those of you who don't know, we have a Roku channel.
Yep.
We call it the Arkansas Weather Watchers Network. But obviously it is Arkansas Weather Watchers on Roku and Fire TV. Now, some smart TV that I know are not able to download it. It has to be a Roku specific or Amazon Fire TV specific TV.
Yep.
That being said, you can go buy a Roku device at Walmart. You can go buy a Fire TV at Walmart. It is free to have. A Roku account is free to have, and our app is free to have. So again, it is just like a weather channel. It is just like the old-fashioned weather channel, but it's for Arkansas. Arkansas based. It is the first of its kind in the state. And we do local outlets as well. Those are human generated, not computer. So we spend Cameron, a couple hours every day going through data, searching things, and generating a localized forecast specific for that tank.
So this is interesting. Thank you, Chandler, for posting this in our chat. The probability of seeing 6 inches of snow or more is now 30 to 40% across much of Arkansas. Folks, that is a half a foot of snow. I mean, that's enough to do some significant impacts here, guys. So this is one of those. You remember those old-fashioned snow events we used to get back in the day in 2010 and 2011 when we were winning 11 games of football. We're not talking about that. But that's those type of snow events that we used to get back in the day. This is kind of reminiscent to that here, guys. And like I said, for folks, I want to make this clear too. This is not being charged. Okay, I know you guys see it all the time that somebody's asking for you for $1 for weather information. This is 100%, 1,000% free. You will never get charged for that stuff here. All of our information we give to you guys 1,000% free because we care about you guys and y'all's well-being, and we care that you guys have the weather information to go about your day.
Yep.
So
And
you don't have to
free.
worry about that.
It is free.
There you go,
thanks
Derek.
to our wonderful sponsors.
Yes, correct. So what? Let's see. So could the totals? I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna go over to the timing because I think there's a lot of people trying to figure out when exactly this is gonna happen. Could the storm do the same that the one last week did in the Midwest? It was enhanced by the streaming of golf moisture and it increased the totals. Nicholas, first of all, excellent comment. Love it. Excellent comment. Excellent question. I'm gonna let you take that one, brother.
So, absolutely. I mean, 100% absolutely. So, we're actually dealing with 2 streams of moisture with this event.
One from the Pacific and one from the Gulf.
Yep. And they are going to be overlapping each other with the setup. Hence why this is where Arkansas gets really what I call the best winter storm.
Yes.
For many of you who know, we had several of these in the 80s. We went through much of the 90s without them. Early 2000s, we had a bunch of them. Then we went through the 2010s. Didn't have a lot of them. And then here we are. We're in our wintertime pattern, or our wintertime supercharge, where we're getting several of them, especially since 2020 and 2021. Again, this is one of those setups where you're going to have a low track. Low track is always key in these events to get the overlap of moisture because the southwest flow will off and the surface flow from the Gulf. And again, your low track is far enough south where, fingers crossed for our folks on the Gulf Coast, severe threat won't be much of an issue, which will only enhance those totals even further. That's why we have kept this upgrade to 8 to 10 or more possible for this event.
I will,
And several different factors got to come.
I'm going to be bold here. And we've seen this with the GFS. We've seen this with the European model here. I would not be shocked by the time we're all three of us, the rest of our team convene by the time we get in the weekend, somebody's trying to challenge these two up here. I would not be surprised. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have what's called a deformation band set up. You're going to have these bands that are going to set up. Somebody, and my money is going to be from Nina, Glenwood, Hot Springs, Little Rock, Sheridan, this area we've got highlighted. Somebody's going to be trying to challenge for a foot of snow out of this. We're not going to pull that right now because obviously it's just, the dermatistic models that are suggesting.
You are bold, my friend.
But somebody's going to challenge it. I've got a feeling somebody's going to challenge it in that corridor. In the wash, probably likely it's going to be in the higher elevations like it normally is. Because, when you go up in the elevation, your lift starts increasing and stuff like that. It's much easier. But I just would not be shocked somebody challenging for that 10 to 12 by the time we get into that Thursday and Friday time frame here. I think a safe bet. The floor right now is 4 to 7 across the state. You're good 6 to 8. There could be an upgrade to 8 to 10. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I think somebody makes a challenge for it. And I think that would be west central portion of Southwest Arkansas. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's see here. Any chances of this being a crippling ice storm for our folks in South Arkansas? First of all, quick shout out my folks down there in South Arkansas. Stormy, I think that name sounds very, very familiar. I don't know. I grew up in El Dorado, so that name sounds familiar. But down there in South Arkansas, I don't think it's going to be an event where it was the late 90s, 2000 ice storm where you guys saw, I think, 3 inches of ice or freezing rain and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be that excessive, but it is to the point where you will start to get the potential of a quarter to a half an inch of ice, which will start introducing power outages, tree damage, and stuff like that. So something to keep in mind as we move into your Thursday and Friday time frame here. So,
Hey,
speaking of that, go ahead.
Destiny, I'm not going to try my. So, it's not an app on the phone. It is an app for your TV.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate that we do have an app coming. I will mention that as well.
Yeah.
It is still in development. We don't come out with anything unless it is developed and ready to go.
Kind of like Roku channel.
Yep.
So
yeah. So it's on Roku and Fire TV.
Yep. And eventually we'll span out to I think, what is it?
Apple TV.
Apple TV, the Google one. Yeah.
Google Chromecast. I think, maybe.
We'll eventually spread out to those other platforms as well here. And by the way, it's not that we're we're only going to have information here and that's it. If you don't have it, you're screwed. This is a situation where, let's say Facebook decides to just crash. Just out of the gate, it just crashes. Well, if you depend on Facebook for it, then you're out of weather information. That's why we have other platforms like YouTube and Roku and our website and all that. So that way you're not missing any information because you guys know full well if Facebook decides to just poof, then, well, a lot of people are going to be like, okay, where do I get this information? Well, this is why we have those other platforms here. So how does the storm in the Gulf play a role with our winter storm? Well, the storm in the Gulf, Mandy, is going to bring the moisture. You need 3 things to get winter weather here in Arkansas. You need moisture, you need lift, and you need cold air. Cold air is already a check mark. You can go outside and verify it yourself. The moisture in the lift is going to come from the Gulf flow.
Don't need to be any cold.
Down there. Yeah, exactly. I
Yes,
agree.
it does.
No, it doesn't. Goodness gracious. But yeah, the storm down there in the Gulf is going to play a big vital role to our winter storm. So, I was gonna say, Dustin, what else we got here? Let's see. So
over this snow already, I'm ready to get. I'm ready to get over this cold too. I'm ready to be back 75, 80 degree weather. I could deal with that.
You're preaching the word, brother. Preaching it. I hear you. I hear you. This man over here, he had it his way. It'd be negative 75 outside.
Yes.
Bro.
This coming from a man who sits at a desk, though.
Exactly.
I grew up in the South. Always lived in the South. And I love winter more than I love summer. Just the way I am.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us love summer, some of us love spring.
I love it.
I love winter. And it's probably because we don't get it that often, to me.
Okay,
And
now that's fair. Now that's fair. That is fair.
Now here's a
rolling
chance.
good.
We always talk about severe weather and weather busting and things like that. But with the this question here, people are talking about it busting or with the trends holding.
this has been the most remarkably consistent system I've seen
Yeah.
since 21.
Out of
Now-
all three models, have pretty well been the same thing. I've all come to agreement rather quickly, and the same area that is going to show the biggest area of impact.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell both of y'all this right now. I've learned this in life too. Sometimes it could be too good, too true to be good. And
Too good to be true.
Too good to be true. That's what I meant. Sorry, my brain just went. I had a whole setup with that, and I just But anyways, too good to be true. So, there are some Hunter potential of this. I think the probability is decreasing by the day. I know if you would have talked to me this time last week, I'd have been like, I don't know about this one. We'll see. But now I think the probability is at a safe bet that we won't have that problem. But here's a couple things that's going to happen. So, number one, on Thursday, you're going to have some dry air to work over with the preset. It's going to take a little bit of time to start getting going. Once it gets going, it's going to go. But it's going to take a little bit of time. There's certain things that we don't see until it is game day. That's just like when you're playing football and you see somebody trying to blitz you and you don't see it until it happens. So that's a situation that we won't know until we are actually in the system, in the storm. That's something that we won't know until then. Right now, looking ahead, your probability of this completely just flopping over looks to be about 5 to 10%, if even that.
Yep.
There's remarkable, consistent trends with the model data here. It's been a brick wall. Last time, like Derek just mentioned, last time we saw this was 2021 with the consistency. But you guys know full well sometimes two things can be too good to be true. So we'll see. We'll see. But I just want to throw that out there because there are always that outside chance that this thing could just flop. And then, we're just kind of all looking at each other. So we'll keep an eye on that. Austin, great comment. Things have been a brick wall over the last several days now. Like I said, if you would have talked to me last week about this, I'd have been like, a little weird.
So Cameron.
I can bring that up, by the way, if I need to.
So Cameron. Just one more thing on the bust potential really fast.
Yeah.
If there were to be a bust potential, it's going to be in South Arkansas, where we see a longer duration of ice.
Yeah.
Or we have a little bit warmer air come in than what's currently anticipated, and we transition all around.
Yeah.
I think it's a safe bet where we're at. It's a very high confidence forecast, but as we know, Arkansas weather
We'll do
its own
stupid
thing.
stuff. Yeah.
So
Let's see, Dustin. The new name definitely wants to cut off northwestern Arkansas here, and that's another bust potential too. The system could track just south enough that Central Arkansas gets everything, and South Arkansas, South Central sees it. North Arkansas is left high and dry, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. We can take a look at that real quick,
so that would
and that's a 0Z that's coming in. Now, keep in mind the name's been struggling all day. But we can take a look at this. By the way, for those that are going to come in and ask about timing's right here. So I want you guys to pay attention right here. That's that's where your timing's going to be.
Yep.
So you see it?
Yep.
Yeah. So
It's two different pieces. The minute is that two different pieces of everything.
yeah.
Again, also,
Look at that.
one thing I mentioned with this is
Mhm.
that the NAM is also one of the worst models out there when it comes to
With
Mid-range
moisture.
guidance.
Yeah.
Precipitation, yeah.
yes.
So-
It's also when it comes to being too warm.
Yeah.
It comes for winter weather forecasting. The NAM is actually one of the more, I'd say, worse models to use when it comes to it until we get within that 24-hour time frame.
Yeah. So you can see
It catches up at about 24 hours.
Yeah.
It is way too warm compared to everything else.
I worry about that though. I worry about that. That's something.
Yeah.
This is now. Here's the deal. Lightning strikes in the bottle once. It happens, but what happens? It starts showing it twice. It's the second time it's done this today.
Yeah.
The 18Z did a little better with it. Don't get me wrong. But this is the second time that it is tried to, and keep in mind, this will be for our folks in Fayetteville, Harrison, about home up here, maybe towards Clinton. We'll have to keep an eye on that northwestern area. This is why our totals right now are so low up here, because there's so much uncertainty. Now, here's the deal. Central Arkansas, I'm about to put a lock on this, throw the keyway, because this is a wall-to-wall consistency that Central Arkansas is in the bullseye. But northwestern Arkansas, you're going to have to keep an eye on this, because if this goes too far south, you guys won't see much up there. It'll all be a central, west central, and into east central Arkansas deal. South Arkansas, Texarkana, the Pine Bluff, this general area, if you start getting a lot of warm air advention down here, you will start talking freezing rain and possibly just a miserable, 33, 34 degree miserable cold rain down here in southern Arkansas, North Louisiana. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But that is,
Here you go, Derek.
that is something I can watch.
I'll let you answer this one, Derek.
Anywho,
Oh man. Yep. There you go. Yep. That's our answer, Rob. That's our answer. And I'm not even an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
Not even an Ohio State fan, but yeah. Goodness alive, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got? I think we got probably a couple more minutes, and we're gonna hop off here, guys.
Know your areas.
Know your area, know your regions. Love that comment. Something that we're stressing over the next couple of days is our graphics have all your information on there, guys. We try to make it. We've had a lot of people, criticize them and stuff like that. We try to make them as easy as possible for people to understand here. Please beat us halfway, guys. It's going to help me out. It's going to help Dustin out. It's going to help Derek out, Heidi, Kim, Taylor, rest of our moderators. It's going to help us out so much if you guys just meet us halfway, okay? And don't be getting mad at us when we don't answer your questions, guys. It's not us being mean or vindictive or anything like that. Guys, you got to realize we have 250,000 people on this page, 257,000. We try to get to as many questions as possible. At the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy. That's just how it is. So just meet us halfway with the graphics. Obviously, if it's something that, we can change, then yeah, definitely. I'll gladly go in here and change it, stuff like that. But please,
Hey, Cameron.
What's up? What you got?
I want you to. This is a really good question, and I think you take care. Or which one? Every one of y'all want to take this.
Derek, you were about to say something.
so the mountains. So in this type of situation, so the Ozarks. So how this works is that the Ozarks typically get the better snows with lows coming along the Red River. Everything is based on storm track. It's not necessarily the mountain effect. But so when you're dealing with Gulf moisture, especially in the Ozarks, there is an area, especially around the Fayetteville area, stuff like that, where we see a more enhanced area of warming per se, where your Gulf moisture gets trapped in the valley. But the mountains with this type of setup, what happens is that your colder air is deeper, and therefore it tends to erode that moisture a little faster than, say, places further down in the valley. But that being said, each event has its own setup. The mountains typically block the colder air coming out of the plains, but don't necessarily. But in situations like this with the northeast wind,
that's what I meant. Go ahead. Sorry, I saw that comment.
You're good with a northeast wind. Your deep moisture does tend to get eroded faster in the Ozarks than it would, say, elsewhere.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention, I'm noticing in the comments, a lot of people were taking the NAM verbatim with its rainfall output in South Arkansas.
Yeah.
Do not buy that.
Do not, please. Please, do not buy that.
Which is why we don't show models that often.
Yeah. I only showed it because I was looking at that and I was like, this is the second time it's trying to do something like that. But yeah, please do not take.
They always have the NAM. The NAM is always almost guaranteed at least one or two rogue runs that just have just way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this time frame, your global models, your European, your GFS, etc. But we don't look at one data. We don't look at one model and go, oh, this is what's going to happen. When it comes to meteorology, you deal with models. You look at storm track. Right now, we're watching current satellites. You're dealing with your trends. You're dealing with, how the temperature looks, what's happening to our north, what's happening to our west, our east, our south, etc. all this goes into what's happening upper layers, lower layers of the atmosphere. There are so many moving parts to a forecast
Yeah.
that not the average person is going to get.
Yeah. If you guys, I'll tell y'all this, it's a miracle I still have hair. It's a miracle he still has hair, and it's a miracle that Dustin has hair, and it's a miracle that our team still has it. Yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah.
turning grayer by the
Look,
minute,
hey,
though.
Hey, I'm going to have to get a little trim over here. Yeah.
Go over this again. Is the app that we're talking about earlier and everything else is on the Roku on your smart TV. We're not talking about an app to go on your personal cell phone and download. I know we talked about that earlier. There's still a lot of comments in the comment section wanting to go download an app off of Play Store.
If there's the app on Apple,
The Apple one's
Cameron, I'm
out.
gonna let you talk about
Yeah,
it.
the Apple one's out. The Android one we're still testing out and trying to get it out.
It's
So-
they probably haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, so if you have Apple, you can download it, and all you gotta do is just search it, and you'll find it. Android's not out yet because we're still trying to test it out and everything, and still got to go through that process and all that.
That's why
so.
we haven't really officially
Well,
announced
we
it.
haven't announced it yet because when you announce it, you want to have both ready to go. That way, you're not favoring one party over another. But yeah. So which weather model is accurate? GFS Euro. Honestly, I'm just gonna be straightforward. I'll tell you neither because we don't. You take both of them and you put your own thoughts into it. When you forecast weather, it's 80% mental and 80% of what you think and what your gut instinct's telling you. The other 20% is just guidance. That's how it is, and that's what European model and GFS is. They literally tell you what they think. It's a computer model generated model. They tell you what their prediction is, and you have to take that and say, hey, okay, I think this is going to be a little further north, or it's going to be a little bit further south. I'll tell you this, Miles. Had you talked to me last week, you'd have talked to that man over there last week, you'd have talked to Dustin last week, or Heidi, or anybody else, this was going to be a Gulf Coast storm.
Yep.
Arkansas was going to be cold and dry, and that was going to be it.
Yep.
And now we're talking about Arkansas seeing a massive winter storm. That's how much things can change within a week. So that's why I say one model over another. I don't put that kind of label on it because it changes so much. That's just how it is. You have to look at the pattern and coming up and you're like, okay, well, either the Euro's off its rockers or the Euro's right, or the GFS is off its rockers, or the GFS is right. So that's a good question, but and that's what makes us so special. We collaborate so much. We work as a machine here, and we put out graphics like this because this is our thoughts, our experience, and everything like that. Generated within these graphics here, guys. Okay, so been watching weather since I was 60 years old. That's funny. So
So so Cameron, question about the Fire Stick on Roku, as well, like the going to sleep thing.
yeah,
I wonder if that's a Fire Stick issue.
I'll have to look into that.
So,
I'll look into that because
yeah.
that's not the first time I've seen that. So how many loaves of bread, Derek? Over or under 20? I'm going over. I'm going over, baby. We're going to the promised land.
I don't know about you. I'm looking about the old-fashioned Arkansas Gators red chili. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. That sounds good.
So again, just to let's just summarize it.
Yeah.
We're going to get off here. Obviously.
Now, before you do that,
Yeah,
I want to make this clear. We're gonna be back tomorrow night.
Yes.
Okay. It's not
Same
us
time.
it's not us just bailing out and that's
Same
it. guys.
time.
Yeah, same time.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
We're gonna be right back here, so you don't have to worry about that. I promise you. But I'm gonna let you take
So,
a couple and you go.
First off, there was a question about this actually, Cameron.
Yeah.
The difference in the timing map. Why is the timing map vertical, but the snow accumulation map's going diagonal
That's a good question.
across the state?
That's a really good question.
Dustin, if you could find that for me.
Hold on just a second. I'll get that pulled up for you. You can keep talking. Go ahead, and I'll pull it up here in just a moment.
So once again.
Yeah.
As we've been talking about.
Yeah. One more thing before
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm gonna highlight Michael's comment real quick here. Let's take a look at that real quick. So this is the NDFD, and it's gonna be coming in here in just a second. First of all, the QPF is ridiculous on there. This is their thoughts on this. Now, this is what we use across the board, and this is
Just one model.
one model. Well, it's not really a model because this is what
Yeah.
the National Weather Service thinks. it's not 3 to 6 across the board. They're trying to go 5 to 7 in this area, and we pretty much matched them with that. In that area that we have highlighted, that 6 to 8 zone from Mena to Little Rock over towards Memphis and points from there. So I want to make this clear. The accumulations are going to change over the next 24 to 48 hours. It's not going to be a certain deal on like, okay, you're going to get this amount of snow. If you don't get it, that's the end of the world. It's going to change over the next 24 to 48 hours here. So I just want to make that clear. This is from the National Weather Service here. This is what they are thinking.
Yeah.
Their floor with this event is 4 to 7 across the board. Locally higher amounts. This is why we use the NDFD. The NDFD is what they use. This is the National Weather Service 2AT right here. This is their thoughts. They got Little Rock at pretty much 6. They've got Hot Springs at 7. This is the area right here. This is what we use on our stuff.
And we look, we look at so many different things. We analyze it, come out with our own thoughts, our own forecasts, stuff like that. We don't follow anybody else. Meteorology is taken into consideration. With this, we don't just we're not just a ho hum Bob Joe that comes up with some random map. Years of experience. Years of dedication and experience. Countless hours. Overnight, daytime, etc. Looking at this data, and dissecting everything there is, to come out with the best forecast possible for you.
Yep.
And
there's your question, Derek, right there.
Oh yeah. So why is it? Yeah.
So you're in time. So you're starting in time because your precip. Your precip is starting in southwest Arkansas.
Yep.
And moving northwest.
Yep.
Okay. So your precip is starting in Texas,
Mhm.
and it's going to move southwest to northeast.
Yep.
But your precip is going to overspread the region. Your accumulation totals are going to be done in banding, so there will be a widespread area. It is a widespread range. That's not saying that you're all going to see 7 inches or 9 inches or whatever of snow. There's going to be a range within any given section of that accumulation.
Yep. So let me go over this real quick here because I think this is pretty much it. So can y'all do it the old school way and put the school closing on the screen so that way the kids can wake up and make them watch? Are you talking about, Amber? Are you talking about the one that's like scrolling through there?
That's what she's talking about. See whether their kids are actually out of school or they have to be there. So you don't know until you get up in the morning.
Right. Well, you have to wait, and if you miss your school, they're like, all right, wait, hang on, I got to go back. We can definitely make that happen. And we'll get that. We'll more than likely we'll start getting school closed and stuff like that, especially today on tomorrow. Now, keep in mind, we don't control who schools are closed and stuff like that. That's everybody's school district. They're the ones that control, who's going to be out and stuff like that here. So it's up to them to do that. We don't control who's out and everything. We can tell them how it is, but it's at the end of the day, it's up to them to like, hey, are we going to close school and stuff like that here. Okay, so this is overall. Yeah, I know. Are you good over there?
I saw that comment. How you Lane is another guy that works with us at Fairway, so yeah. I saw that.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, Lane, I told you I don't.
He sleeps on the job and stays awake here is what he does.
There you go. That's what he does. Got that nice cushion desk. So anyways, guys. So the biggest thing is the winter storm watch is in effect for much of Arkansas. This will likely get upgraded to a winter storm warning. It could be as early as tomorrow morning. This is going to be depending on what Little Rock does, what Shreveport does, what Memphis does, and stuff like that. My folks in Northwest Arkansas, I think you'll be a winter weather advisory until it gets to a situation on if you guys are going to get 4 inches of snow or you're going to see 1. If you go to NAB, you're going to get 1 to 2 inches of snow, and that's it. So it's going to vary a lot, but this should get upgraded to a winter storm warning at the bare minimum first thing tomorrow morning. It just depends on when they do it.
So winter storm warnings are typically issued 24 to 36 hours in advance of the onset of winter precipitation. So that being said, typically speaking, we will probably see it as early as tomorrow morning in western Arkansas. We will probably see it by midday in central, and then of course by tomorrow evening. I expect by the time we come live tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, we will see the entire state blanketed in some sort of winter weather alert.
So pretty much that's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and
Let's put up our rookie graphic once
yeah.
again.
I'm just going to go through all the graphics
All
real
right.
quick and then just kind of summarize everything up and then go from there. So obviously, majority of the area looks like it's going to be the potential of seeing heavy, significant snow. We're talking the areas that we're talking from, I'd say this general area should be ranging around 4 to 7 inches of snow. There's pretty great amount of consistency on that. And you can go look at the National Weather Service Memphis. They said the same thing, 4 to 6. This is the general area that we think we're going to have. Southern Arkansas, freezing rain will definitely become more of a concern. We'll have to keep an eye on that. This is going to change a lot over the next day or so. It's going to change, folks. This is not a set in stone deal. This is why we update this as much as possible. Thank you, by the way, for that. It's just something that we'll have to keep an eye on over the next 24 to 48 hours here. But this map, right now, the central 2/3 of the state, that's western Arkansas, central up to northeast Arkansas. This is the plan right now. But we'll keep an eye on things over the next 24 hours here. The timing is going to look different than your maps because of how angled this is going to be coming in. Remember, this is southwest to northeast. Keep that in mind. This is southwest to northeast motion with this activity. That's why your timing map is angled. This is not coming from the north. It's not coming from the west or anything like that. This is coming from Texas and Oklahoma, South Texas and South Oklahoma, North Texas along the Red River. And it's going to move into southwest Arkansas and then into central and into northeast here. So think of it like you're trying to travel from Dallas to Little Rock. And that general angle, that's how it's going to be coming in. If you've ever made that trip from Dallas to Little Rock, that's that same angle is literally how it's going to be coming in as we move into your Thursday and your Friday time frame here. So ball game looks to be starting about 6 o'clock down there in southwest Arkansas. Right around lunch here. Northeast and East Arkansas looking about 3 o'clock, and then that's going to be it all the way until at the bare minimum Friday afternoon and into Friday evening across the state. Snowfall totals across the area, lowest in southeast, lowest in northwest. Bullseye right over central Arkansas and right over to the central 2/3 of the state, which is going to be west, central, and up into eastern and northeastern Arkansas here. 6 to 8 across the area. Could be some locally higher amounts across the board, especially from Little Rock, Sheridan, over to Mena, DeQueen, Arkadelphia, Daisy, Hot Springs, Glenwood, Mount Ida. That's going to be the area here, guys. Okay. Also, make sure you read the entire graphic. Don't skim it. Don't just look for your city and then ask the questions. We don't mind answering questions. We have an entire team, by the way, that is dedicated to answering questions only, by the way. I want to make that clear if you didn't know. But we want you guys to meet us halfway because, the time it takes to answer one question could be time we could be using for another question. So if you meet us halfway and if you still can't figure it out or something on the map that we're missing, you let us know. We'll take care of it. But you got to meet us halfway, guys. You got the cities on there, the accumulation numbers on there, the color scheme at the top. All that information's on there. You cannot skim, folks. You cannot skim the graphics. You can't. Not with us, not with Zach Hall, not with National Weather Service. Nothing. You cannot skim the graphics, guys. You can't. Because if you skim, you're going to miss it. Think of it like a contract. You sign a contract and you miss that fine print, then you know what happens after that here, guys. Okay? So obviously if it's something that we can help, we have no problem doing it. Okay? That's why we're here. But you got to meet us halfway. You have to. Cannot stress that enough over the next 24 to 48 hours. Because we're going to be trying to get data in. We're going to be trying to get stuff set up for the alert day on the rugby channel and all that. It's going to be a lot of chaos over the next 24 to 48 hours here. So please just meet us halfway. That's all we're asking. Meet us halfway across the board. Okay. Now, travel, don't bank on it after 3 o'clock I take that back. I'd say right around lunch on Thursday. Don't bank on it because if you're going to run into a lot of snow-covered roads, we're going to have information on the page about that. One of my guys, if y'all can get iDrive's link in the comments, that would be great. Check those guys out. They're going to have all your road conditions and stuff like that over the next 24 to 48 hours. But travel, I do not recommend it Thursday night, Friday, and especially that first half of Saturday. That first half of Saturday, with the temperatures being well below freezing, the roads are going to be a nightmare. You're going to have to give RDOT time to get on those main roads, get them cleared off and stuff like that, and then you'll be able to go. The back roads are going to take a lot more time than the main roads. Main roads should be back up, I'd say, midday Saturday, maybe a little early, just depends on how fast RDOT works. Shout out to them, by the way, because they're going to be dealing with a nightmare over the next 72 hours here. But be courteous. I love that comment. Be courteous to folks, guys, okay? Especially my folks in the grocery store. I worked at Butcher's in El Dorado. Can't tell you how many times we dealt with rude people when there's a winter storm. Be nice to those guys, okay? They're trying to make sure that you have food in your house. They're trying to make sure that you're taken care of and everything like that. Don't be mean to those guys at the grocery store. Just don't. Don't be a mean, rude person. Thank them because they are working their tails off to make sure that you have the stuff that you have in your house. So don't be rude to them. Those that are in Kroger, those that are at, Edwards or Harps or stuff like that. Anyone that's working in the grocery store right now, I commend y'all. Anybody that's working on the roads, that's keeping the lights on, stuff like that, I commend y'all. Because they're going to be working the hardest over the next 72 hours here, guys. So please be nice to them, guys. Doesn't cost a penny to be a nice person in this world. I'm just telling you that right now. So, freezing rain, southern Arkansas. This is the area from Magnolia, El Dorado, Crosset, Lake Village. That's going to be the area that we're going to have to watch for the freezing rain potential. Obviously, things get colder. This drops. If it gets warmer, it starts to increase. But we'll have to keep an eye on that down there in southern Arkansas. Sleet, not really too worried about. And then this graphic, the snowball making graphic. Just pretty much a likelihood across the state. Except for our folks up there in, we'll have to watch Northwest Arkansas and then down there in southeastern Arkansas here. And then Derek, I'll let you take this one. I'm sorry, I was trying
You're good.
to get through the graphics as quick as possible.
So once again, folks, we will be live. If you don't have it downloaded on your smart TV on Roku and Fire Stick.
Yep.
You can go to Walmart and get your Roku or Fire Stick device. It is free for an account.
Yep.
And of course, obviously, we are free as well. You get around the clock coverage. You get forecasts. You get local occurrence. You get radar. You get watching the warnings. We will alert you if there's a warning goes off because it'll be a very loud beep.
Yep.
And then of course, obviously, last case scenario, Facebook goes down. Guess what? You still have our coverage right here.
Yeah.
And of course, as always, we're gonna be here throughout this event. We'll be live again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Talking about this once again. And then of course, obviously, we will be here with you through the event on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Keeping you up to date on everything.
So I'm going to ask one last question from Camille. Would you advise picking your children up from school early if the school
It is
district?
a district by district choice.
Yeah.
That is not our choice.
Okay, my mom used to do this too. Where if there was snow and she knew that it was going to be a winter storm and they decided not to close, then yeah, she would pick me up. Or even then, she wouldn't even let me go to school. She would let me stay at home because she was like, "There's no point in me getting out, going to get you and come back if they're just going to close at like 11 or 12." So that's your choice. I would advise it. Yeah, if you want to beat the traffic, you want to beat everybody to the punch. Probably not even let them go to school Thursday. I don't know how things work nowadays with that. I know back in the day, if you didn't go, it was a whole process you had to go through. But yeah, I would keep them at home if at all possible on Thursday if they don't decide to close. That's just that. Like Derek said, that's going to be district by district on how they decide to do all that. We don't control the school closure and stuff like that. But our recommendation would be, yeah, if at all possible, keep them at home on Thursday. But if not, if you have to let them, the school's still open, just be prepared to get them a lot earlier because traffic is going to be a little chaotic across the board. So myself, Derek, and Dustin, you guys got anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, guys, we thank you all for tuning in to this live stream. It's been a very, very just awesome live stream. A lot of great questions. I want to stress that not only we're going to be on Roku and Fire TV, but we're also going to be on Facebook and on YouTube. Quick shout out to With Him and Moreland Construction and Services LLC, all our sponsors, for making this possible. They do a lot to make sure that you guys are getting this information for free here. So if you got a business or you have a local business that you would like to get on the Roku channel and stuff like that, holler at us. We can get you guys taken care of on that here. So other than that, I think that's it. We're going to hop off in here, and we will catch you guys at the same time tomorrow. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated. Right here on The Source.
Your
For all
source for all things
All
Arkansas
Arkansas.
Rural Web.